Welcome to AstroEnergy with astrologer angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the April 24th, 2018 edition of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. It's good to be here with you. Hope you are having a good week. It is definitely a mixed bag this week, I think. We have sunny and cloudy and rainy and sunny weather in Orlando. I honestly don't even know how warm it is. It's 74 degrees with a high of 83 today. And the humidity is probably going to be 100% at some point because we've been having a couple days of rain so far, and it looks like it's going to rain again today. But that's good because the grass and all the plants I bought, well, I bought only a few, not too many herbs. I bought some herbs last week, of course, because Venus has been in Taurus, and that means we are planting. It is spring, so it's planting time. Anyway, let's go over what's going on here. Move my microphone up a little bit. Maybe that helps. Oh, and you know what I didn't do? I didn't start the chat room. Let me just real quick start a chat room, and then you can all go over there and hang out if you'd like. Okay. Right now in Orlando, let me just double check. I'm going to update this. This is about half an hour ago. So we'll just update it a little bit. So we have a Cancer rising, which, that of course is specific to Orlando. And so even as you go farther north up to New England or something like that, that's going to change. So it really does matter specifically what time of day you were born because it can shift the layout of all the planets. So you know what I should do is have a whole show about how the chart is laid out so those of you who are listening and learning can understand that. But not today because we have Pluto to talk about today. So we've got the moon at 26 degrees Leo, and that means that he's moving into Virgo 4:40 p.m. today. We have Venus entering Virgo at 12:40 p.m. She is at 29 Taurus right now, which means she is, I kind of see the last degree's energies as almost like a concentration of everything that has been being learned and taught when a planet goes through a sign. So as Venus is in the last degree, she is like really highly concentrated. And, of course, now the sun is at 4 degrees of Taurus. He's been there since the 19th. So he's just getting into it. So it's a pretty intense day of Taurus energy. We've also got, because the moon's moving into an earth sign, we're going to have a lot of that earth energy as well. So that means that the moon will be trining the sun this afternoon. And there will also be pretty much a grand trine between the sun, the moon, and Saturn in Earth. So that should be interesting. Just relating it to me and what I've got, because I have a stellium in Virgo, and that puts the moon on my stellium, on my Mercury, trining the sun. And so, yeah, it kind of already has started out to be an interesting day, too. We'll get into that in a minute, a little bit, not too much. But, the moon at late degrees Leo means that people are going to be telling you stories. They're going to be increasing the emotional side of things, the drama, the contrast, and the story gets bigger with each telling. That's Leo energy. It is also tremendous energy around authority and I should say like the boss or the central figure, probably more than authority. It's someone who wants to be in authority, but not necessarily has authority. Of course, there's all the energy in Capricorn right now, and they do have the authority. And Capricorn owns whatever it is in, like whatever realm we find Capricorn in our chart, that's where we are going to own the energy. And so having the sun at late degrees Leo means that we are also, or excuse me, not the sun, the moon, we are also in a point of contrast. And at the same time, there's a square going on, a T-square between Venus at 29 Taurus, Moon at 26 Leo, and 20 degrees of Scorpio, Jupiter retrograde. So that means that Jupiter, Moon, and Venus are talking and having their story, which, without giving away too many details, has kind of been my story this morning. I should have known better. When you're dealing with Venus, you're dealing with issues of money and love, and Venus is about desire. And then you've got Moon, which Leo is about creativity and connectivity and wanting to find out more about other people and really relating to other people. How do I relate to you? How do you relate to me? So when you have Venus squaring Moon, you're definitely going to have some conflict around desire and around how you see things, and it's going to have to do with home and value as a person, value within your life. How does value as a person translate into currency and money? And then, of course, we have Moon in Leo. Moon is home and family. Leo is children. So there's going to be some understanding or awareness of children. And, of course, yesterday, the happy news, in my opinion, is that there is a third baby to Prince William and Catherine. So I'm very excited about that. I love looking at the charts, and he's going to be an interesting little guy. He's going to have all the planets that we had yesterday in his chart. So that'll be a photograph of his life. What's going on in the world yesterday will be part of the story he expresses as he grows older. And part of that story is Saturn in Capricorn, Mars joining up with Pluto. Tremendous amount of power to change structures and authority, energy, governments, whatever, the mindset is going to be, the dogma is going to be a huge thing in his life to change. He will be kind of on the front lines of that major change. And since he's born into a royal organization, so to speak, his future is going to definitely incorporate a change in the structure. So he and his life will definitely be a part of the change of ideology that the monarchy has and will have in the future. We've got Neptune at 15 degrees trining Jupiter, and in positive sextile to, for some reason my computer's not showing, but it is a sextile Saturn. So the trine to Jupiter and the sextile to Saturn mean that desire and vision is very much a part of what we're doing right now, and also water, emotions, but also oceans and bodies of water and what's going on with them. We've got Mercury at 8 degrees Aries in square by 1 degree to Saturn. So Mercury, I don't think Mercury gets to an exact square until Thursday this week, if not, I'm not mistaken. Let me see. No, it's Wednesday. So Mercury squares Saturn 5:28 tomorrow evening. And honestly, I've been trying to use the planets this week in calling in an appointment that I have to make. And, it's a surgical appointment, not for me, but minor surgery. And I'm trying to get the best time to call in. And it's really important to me that it's very good timing. And that Mercury square Saturn has really been kind of a thorn in my side for trying to get a time to call in and get the appointment. Because, I don't use astrology as like a minute-by-minute thing in my life usually, but when I am electing to do things, I do look at what's going on astrologically. Because when you're electing to do something like surgery, it's pretty important to make sure that everything is aligned for a positive outcome. And that means putting the moon at the right position, and Mercury is the commitment to doing it, and it's also how the surgeon or the person in charge of doing a medical procedure views it, because Mercury rules Virgo, and Virgo is health, And so you want that to be good. You want to make sure that Mars is in a good position, so actions taken are clear and forthright, and it all works well, that things are not afflicting the sixth house. It goes on and on. There's so many things, but definitely Mercury squaring Saturn this week. Mercury in Aries. Aries is a sign of blood. You want to be aware of things like that when you're making those appointments for something like dental work or, minor surgeries, things like that, because there could be more blood if you have operations at this time, or blood could be an issue. It could be, is everything getting in the blood that needs to get in the blood, or, that kind of thing. So it's a really big time to be aware of those types of things in your personal life. So I would say probably until Mercury moves into Taurus, you're going to be more aware of how blood can affect your decisions with medical events. So that is, I'm looking it up for you, April. Oh my gosh, May, time flies. So Mercury gets to Taurus May 14th. I knew that because Mercury goes into Taurus the same day Uranus does. I don't know why I didn't remember that. Anyway, we've got Uranus at 28 also. Okay, so the next 3 weeks, Uranus is really wrapping up that story. So the story of Uranus and Aries is heightened masculine assertion. In other words, men are going to be more aware of masculinity. Women, interacting with men will be more aware of the masculine side of things. And we're going to have kind of that intensity and that erraticism that Uranus has. So there's going to be more personal authority is wanting to come out, because Uranus actually has an aura of wanting to have personal power or say in their lives. So having Uranus in Aries late degrees, again, that concentrated push towards the next sign. I think I've used this metaphor before, the green flash before the sun goes down below the horizon. Think of it that way, because that's really kind of what we're going to have in the next 3 weeks. It's going to be this flash of temper, a flash of not knowing what to expect, not knowing what's coming. And, that's, we're going to get to go through it again, because like the beginning of January next year, we're going to have the Uranus moving into Taurus a final time. Right now, of course, Uranus will retrograde and go back in, but literally March, the first week of March to March 8th next year is going to be this exact same thing. So whatever happens in the next few weeks, we'll experience again the end of February into March, but it will be the culmination and the finality of that energy, and the shift and change into the feminine energy for the next 8 years. So this time it's really like diving into the deep end when you haven't been in the water. And then next year we'll be like, okay, I've been here before and I've been out for a couple minutes, so it's a little cold in the air outside, and now I'm going back in where it's warmer. So you'll have a little bit of understanding of where you're going again this, spring of next year. So let's see, Sun now in Taurus. So again, ego associated with money, and also it's feminine. So this is the feminine ego coming up, wanting to understand value. And also we're going to be focusing more on the gardening, the food aspect, everything, especially the Uranus, Taurus, and then any plants going into Taurus are triggering information that we're going to be understanding more in the end of May, until Uranus goes retrograde. We're going to be really exploring those Taurian subjects. So again, Uranus is chemicals, so there can be, and I know I forgot about that. There was recently that chemical bomb in Syria that is, it's more prone to be like that with Uranus in Taurus, Uranus in Aries at N degrees. It's going to be acting out using science, using technology, hacking, all those things. It's just expressing in a physical aggressive, assertive way how that energy is. So Uranus, it's electrical, it's technological, it's being in personal power. So these can be renegades, most likely are going to be renegades. They're going to be people who are acting on their own behalf and having the mindset that they're acting on behalf of a collective way of thinking as opposed to just their own. They're an individual who's crusading against something that's part of a collective they see as a greater truth. Okay, so that's coming in. North Node in Leo still for a while, and South Node in Aquarius. North Node is expressing for children and creativity, of course, and South Node, all the Uranian things I just mentioned. So it's intellect, it's science, it's unusual ways of looking at things, and it's the unexpected. And quite honestly, it's quantum energy. So bringing in that electrical quantum energy where, to give you a real quick understanding of what quantum energy is, it has to do with, well, it's the difference between linear and quantum. Linear is if you can see that this is here and then that happens, then that means the third thing is a given. So it's observational. But quantum energy means that we go in and out, that there are multi-dimensions of understanding, that things happen out of linear order and that it isn't necessarily understandable using linear thinking, that you have to jump to the next level. It's like trying to understand electricity when all you know is a bouncing ball rolling across the floor. I don't know. It's probably a bad analogy, but it's just so different and so much further beyond. So that energy is coming in now like a portal from the past. So anyone born now with the South Node in Aquarius means they're coming in with an innate understanding of that quantum energy. So it's, again, we've had all the children, the millennials, were born with that, let's say Uranus and Uranus and Neptune in Aquarius. So those are the kids that are really tech wired. They're the ones with their heads in their phones because that resonates to the vibration that they're familiar with. And the South Node also resonates to that. So the North Node is about transmuting that detachment that Aquarius can have, and Uranus has that detachment from individual personal relationships, and Leo wants to have those attachments. So it's the polarity of those two signs. So if you're a Leo, right now it's actually a very fortunate time for you with the North Node in Leo, and you are having fated moments around that fortune and risk-taking and gambling. So let me see. Oh, we haven't talked Pluto. Okay, so that's pretty much what's going on in the sky right now. And Pluto. So Pluto is retrograde. Now, Pluto went retrograde in the last couple days, Sunday morning. I'll tell you exactly when, at 11:26 a.m. So Pluto, of course, is major life change. And again, for the new listeners, Pluto as an astrologer is very, very potent as a planet. And I do still consider it a planet no matter what astronomers say, because I deal with Pluto all the time, and I have a Scorpio rising, which makes my ruler Pluto. So I am a bit biased to Pluto. Pluto, because it takes over 250 years to go around the sun, it has a tremendous amount of time to work its way through our chart. And that means that it spends over a decade, closer to a decade and a half, in every sign. And so it really has a chance to dig in and influence whatever area of the sky it's in. And right now it's in Capricorn. So having Pluto in Capricorn means that it's strongly influencing structure, government, organizational ideas, and systems. And if you organize your life in a certain manner, it's changing that. So whatever systems you have in your life, in your career, around people, wherever it falls in your chart, it's rearranging those systems. And interestingly, it falls into my third house, which is the house of communications and the house of thought. So it is working on how I reason, quite honestly. Like, what are the ways you understand logic? That's what it does when it's in an air energy. And of course, the third house is ruled by Gemini, which is air. So having Pluto in Capricorn is really working on government. It's working on anything structural, so that includes buildings, houses, cars, bodies. My body, I think I mentioned this last week, I was having some neck pain, and I have structural joint issues. Structural, it sounds kind of funny, skeletal issues. So it does rule skeleton. So you may be feeling pain in your joints. You may be feeling pain in your bones. You may be feeling toothaches and headaches and things like that, because it's very strong, intense energy. And as Pluto moves forward, like I said, it's a very slow moving planet. It takes its time in turning retrograde. So, it's been kind of slowly stopping, and then it went retrograde. And now, as it's retrograde, it's again going to pick up the other direction for a while, and it's there for 4 months retrograde until September. So I think it may even be October, the first week of October this year. If I look here, it's retrograde until September 2nd, I think. Hang on. No, I take it back. I was looking at Uranus. It goes direct October 1st. So we've got this energy going on until October. So, what it means is, and that's the number one question I get asked, so what does that mean? What it means is that we are going back over the changes we've already made. So as Pluto goes forward, it makes changes. It says, okay, is this working for us? In Capricorn, it can also make us dig our heels in further and be much more stubborn, because again, remember, Pluto is associated with Scorpio, one of the more stubborn signs of the zodiac, and Pluto wants to go and look for a solution and dig deeply for the solution, and not always ready to give up on path. So what Pluto can do in our charts is it says, well, what about this and what about that? This could be a solution and that could be a solution. And I have a very strong opinion about the value, because it is Scorpio. It's opposite of Taurus. Taurus is personal value. Scorpio's value of self to others. So it's how we integrate our value with others. And so as it goes through the signs, as it goes through Capricorn, it's digging up the value that particular essence has. So the value is our government. What is the value of our government? What is the value of politics, which are specifically Pluto? Capricorn is authority figures in government and systems, and Pluto is politics, politicians, etc. So that means scandal. Well, of course, we've got a scandal in probably multiple scandals in politics, but the Hannity scandal I don't know if it's a scandal quite yet, but all the stuff going on with Sean Hannity is a connection to Michael Cohen, who is, of course, a lawyer, which Pluto rules lawyers. So that's one facet of it. And then retrograde, now we're going to go back over some stories that have been coming out in the news and that we've been seeing, and dig deeper and really say, is this something that we want to keep? So by the time Pluto goes direct, we're going to know what it is we can do away with and what goes to the dumpster, what goes, by the wayside, what we need to cut, what fat we need to cut out of our government, what fat we need to cut out of our lives. And honestly, it's also about career. So if you've been going through some ideas about what you used to think was important, and in Capricorn, what you used to think was probably hierarchy, structure, and tradition, those ideas are going to be challenged. Mars is within 1 degree of Pluto, so that means, I believe, Thursday. Mars joins up, 7 a.m. on Thursday, Eastern. Mars is joining up with Pluto. So moving towards Thursday, that's a huge powerhouse together. And, of course, Mars joins Pluto when Pluto's retrograde. So what he does is he's carried the information from Saturn, which is, hey, this is how the system works. This is what we want to have happen. This is what we're used to. And this is what we're willing to do. This is how we see what is important and what is traditional and what we've always done. And he's talking to Pluto, and Pluto was going forward, making changes, and now Mars says, yeah, but wait, we have some information about the structure of things that now we need to find a way to deal with. This is about taking action on the change, but going back over what we just did. It's not about creating something new just yet. It's about going back over. As Pluto is retrograde and Saturn is retrograde, the archetype of those two planets in the sign of Capricorn is what we're going to be dealing with. So the archetype of Saturn, everything I've just been saying, it's the authority figure. It's the person who won't be budged. It's the one who's seemingly the person in charge and has all the power. And Pluto also has power, but has power to change worlds. Pluto's power is explosive. It really is like a bomb going off in our world. So when it changes, you can expect some little bomb going off in your world that you have to pay attention to, little or big. It can deal with death and rebirth, and that means physically as well. It's in Capricorn, it's an earth sign. It could be people leaving your life. And Mars is really for that person. If you translate it into the first person of like, what does that person want to do? Like, they're making that decision. Is it time to go or stay? And, you know, with Pluto, usually the answer is whatever the transition is best for me. So as Mars moves to Pluto and joins up, there is tremendous power for that change to happen. And then Mars goes past Pluto and enters the arena where now we're acting alone. We're acting on our own behalf. We're acting as our own personal authority as we move our way towards another change, but this is an ideological change. I don't even know how to explain it. Aquarius is a change of allowing more information to come into our worlds than we had. Capricorn is about restricting the information and keeping it in working towards our own benefit and keeping things status quo. Once Mars moves past Pluto, he's moving in the last degrees of Capricorn, which are going to be mutable and working towards that shift of information coming our way. So let's see, when does Mars move into Aquarius? Mars moves into Aquarius in May on the 17th, literally the day after Uranus goes into Aquarius or into Taurus. So the very day after Uranus in Taurus, we have Drive moving into a sign that is ruled by Uranus, which means at that very moment, there will be changes in structure. There will be new laws. I'm guessing, especially because the Facebook thing, that whole debacle is only going to get more intense. And I definitely think that it could challenge Facebook as a company. You have Mars going to Aquarius, which rules technology. And believe it or not, it's in conjunct to Taurus. So that means, actually, let me double check that. Is it in conjunct? Yeah, it is. 150 degrees. Is it? I don't know why I'm having a hard time. It's squaring. That's what it is. I knew there was a negative aspect. It's squaring. So that's 90 degrees apart, and that is an uncomfortable energy because now Mars action is in a sign that is in direct square to its ruling planet, and it's in Taurus. So wanting to be free and not worry about the material world, wants to have concepts and ideas. And now Uranus is in Taurus, and so it's going to say, no, that's not what I want. We need to, number one, we're going to add ideas to the structure, but the structure is also going to have a say as to how those ideas flow. And I would say that energy definitely, if there's another SpaceX flight, I would watch it because that's going to be a really difficult aspect to send another rocket up. And I live 30 miles from where they go up. There was just one earlier, 2 days ago or yesterday. I think it was 2 days ago. I took a picture on Sunday. Anyway, yeah, so keep an eye on that particular thing. You know, SpaceX, there's going to have to be a reworking, a retooling somehow. And also Facebook is going to feel it. Any combination of the material business world and technology, you will see shifts and changes coming, especially middle of May. It's happening. And it's a big event, so of course we're going to do more shows about it, but I'm going to take a break here, and then we'll come back and take some calls. So let's see what we have. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a little song called Ishikari Lore by Kevin MacLeod. Anyway, my name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and I'm here to answer your questions. But first, I'm going to let you know that I'm available for private readings at my astrologerangel.com website. You can get me there. You can sign up for a reading there, or you can send me an email and ask if I'm available, and I will usually get back to you within a couple hours. And anyway, let's take some calls. 561. Hi, who is this?
Hi, Shelley. Good morning. This is Stacey.
Hi.
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 This is Stacey.
What can I do for you?
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to know what's coming up for me because things are all haywire. So I just wanted to know.
Okay. Let's see what we've got.
It's not a bad haywire. It's just like I'm trying to find some kind of grounding, you know?
Yeah, I understand. So is there a specific area that you want to look at? Like career, love, home?
It's like the two is career and love right now. It's like crazy.
Okay, so your career house, you have Taurus at the midheaven, which is, the top of our chart. And also there is your moon at Taurus. And of course, the sun is at 4 Taurus. So you've got the light shining right on you there. And definitely there's some activity going on about redefining the career. Because May 15th, when Uranus goes into Taurus, that's going to be on your midheaven in a new sign, and it will be a major shift and change for you. So you've got, what did I say? I'm going to check on the timing there. I know Uranus goes retrograde. I'm just not sure when because it's out there in the future. It goes in August. So we're going to have Uranus retrograde in August. So it gets all the way to 2 degrees, which is literally the very last degree of your house of education and understanding. And that's also a movement, taking action with things. So have you been, and you have Mercury just entering that same house. Have you thought about like doing some type of educational or expanding workshop, something like that lately? Okay, that's in alignment.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely move forward with that because it's going to benefit you tremendously. And you've also got Chiron at 12 Aries. So there's, that energy of wounding in that part of your chart. So it has to do with acting out in a more self-assertive manner, and also the potential of wanting to move to another place, or, having Mercury going into your 9th house is going to give you the idea that maybe you need to go somewhere else or do something else with your life, that it's like wanting you to shake things up. It is the energy of vagabond. I always say it's like the gypsy or the vagabond. They don't want to stick around for very long. So when you have planets in the Sagittarius energy up in Aries in your Sagittarius house, that's what you're feeling. You're like, I've got to do something now. It can be a change of mental awareness, and that's like, going off in your mind. That's what Mercury is going to do in that house. It says, okay, Mercury also likes to take short distance travel, and so there might be an opportunity to go to a town near you to take a class or get out for the weekend, that kind of thing. So you're going to see that too. But it's all in alignment with what you want to do with your career, because Mercury will be moving into Taurus, like I said, May 15th. So that is a power punch to your career. It's like, no, now we're going to work for ourselves, and that's what Uranus wants you to do. He's an entrepreneur. So you may very well decide to go work for yourself. And the Pluto-Mars conjunction is in your house of work, and that's pretty close to your North Node and your Jupiter conjunction. So Jupiter again, it's like, what's the change you want to make? What's the expansion and the move that you want to do? That's, really powerful right now. I mean, the combination of having Uranus at your midheaven and Mars, Pluto conjunct close within 6 degrees of your Jupiter North Node is a very powerful, positive time for change. You're in your own authority now, and Saturn just went retrograde in that house, so that may be this like, oh, geez, I don't know if I can do that. That's so scary, because Capricorn brings up fear. Saturn wants things to be very practical and pragmatic, okay? So it's like, how can I do this and know that this is going to work? I don't want to face my fears. I want it to work the way it's always worked. Mars going past Pluto into Aquarius this year, again in May, is going to shake up those norms. It's just the reality of it. You're wanting to have the stability, but to do what you need to do and go where you need to go, you're going to have to shake things up. Okay? So I'm sorry, that's probably the anxiety you're feeling, and the instability is a little bit of that energy coming in, especially with Uranus close to the midheaven. You also have Jupiter, the planet, again, of travel and change and transition at, let's see, I think it's 20 degrees on your Mars-Venus conjunction. So that brings in, again, value around the home. And are people valuing what you have to bring in the home?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so You have a little bit of Vesta in your house of children, and that may mean if you have children that they're kind of giving you a hard time right now, or there's something going on possibly at work that you don't know about yet, because that would also put Vesta in the house of, or the area of the subconscious to what's going on at work. So the hidden aspects. So there may be somebody at work who's kind of working behind your back doing things. That's a possibility as well.
Definitely. Yeah,
is that person younger or older? Well, it's interesting because the house is younger, but the sign is older. Okay, because it's in Capricorn. Capricorn rules the elderly, but in the Leo house it rules younger. So it's interesting, the juxtaposition there. But okay, so the Capricorn is winning out versus the house. Yeah, and as far as love is concerned, having Jupiter on your Venus Mars conjunction means there's someone from the past coming back in, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the person you're going to be with, because Jupiter at the end of this year gets into Sagittarius, and there's going to be a change of what it is you want. And I would definitely think that by the end of this year into early next year, you're going to be looking at a potential move. I would say really strong energy around a move for you. Okay. And that could mean a new romance coming in after on the heels. Pardon me?
I'm looking into that, to moving, but I'm trying to fix up now to see, to sell the property and see what happens after that. Yeah.
Well, the end of the year is a really great time for that too, because again, Jupiter rules real estate transactions for me. And it'll be on Mercury and your Neptune, which is like moving towards the ideal home situation. Like you're wanting to have you want your ideal home life, and you're creating that. So in Sagittarius, Jupiter's fortune, I would definitely say if you're looking to sell a house, the end of the year is going to be really good for that.
Okay.
Okay. So, I would say, I'm just seeing Mars going into your house of marriage and partnership also in May could bring an unexpected romance or unexpected partner that's going to seem really like your ideal. But my addendum is that you're going to maybe they'll come and go really quickly, which is kind of the Aquarian energy. It's like they'll be there and then they may not be really reliable to stick around because they'll be off to other things. It's like wherever the winds blow. So unfortunately, that's kind of the nature of the Aquarius going through that house. When Mars gets to Pisces, that's a little bit more of a stick around energy. So if someone comes in and you're like, oh, are they going to stick around? You'll know by the time Mars gets to Pisces. If they stick around after Pisces, then that'll be a good solid thing. But over the course of the summer, Mars retrogrades, and it stays in, let's see, I'll just tell you here. It's at 9 degrees Aquarius, and then it goes back all the way into Capricorn to 28 degrees, and then it turns direct at 28 and then gets back into Aquarius. So it doesn't actually get to Pisces until November 16th. Okay. So again, the end of the year. So really kind of this year is your year of transition and trying to understand what it is you really want and going back over old stories. I know it sounds like a pain, but it's really a process of like 2 steps up, 1 step back, 2 steps up, 1 step back. You're refining what it is you want so that you can move forward next year and really be immersed, and it's going to completely bloom and manifest next year for you. Okay? Especially when Mars gets up with Pisces, the end of the year will be really good Pisces with Neptune, because that's going to be a real powerhouse of making dreams come true as well for you and commitment. And that happens, let's see, I'll tell you when that happens. That'll happen for everybody right around the 7th of December. Okay? So that's a really good time to know. And it might also be creating a partnership for a business for yourself. It's actually in positive aspect to Uranus around then, and in the Taurus energy. So that could be really good for you as well. Okay?
Okay.
Well, thanks for the call. You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's take 202. Oh, my goodness. Hi, 202. Are you there?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Who is this?
This is Kay.
Kay, that's what I thought. Believe it or not, I mean, I put phone numbers, I put the area code in to kind of differentiate who you are in my files. And somebody else also has the not only the area code, but the same prefix as you. So I'm not always sure it's you. Yeah, there's another caller who also is the same prefix. So anyway, yeah. What can I do for you today? It is, isn't it?
I've got a new bow that I would like for you to check out. An international fellow.
Oh my. Okay.
And I actually have the time, which I'm excited about.
Oh my goodness, he was able to pull out the time. Huh? Cool.
Yep. I was like, ask your mama.
Okay. Does he have a first name you can give me?
We'll give him
I could give him Bo.
B-L. Yeah, Bo.
Like that. I'll just do Bo. Okay, that's fine. So what's his birthday? Actually, first give me his city. I'm going to try it a different way this time. Let's give me his city first.
Okay, I'm going to spell it for you. It's in Belgium. Okay. It's T-O-N, like Nancy.
Okay.
G-E-R-N, Tongeren.
G-E-R what?
So it's T like Tom, O-N like Nancy, G-E-R-E-N.
E-N. Okay. All I need was those two. Okay. B-E-L-G, Belgium, you said? Belgium?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to put it in with the town first. Now give me his birthday.
December 13th.
Okay.
1973.
Okay. And what time?
9:30 a.m.
Okay. Wonderful. That's awesome. Okay, let's just see what we have here, and put the two of you together.
Yeah, and then just like what his energy too, like what.
Okay, well I'm going to actually, let's look at his individual energy first, and then I can kind of tell you what I see about who he is as a person. So he's a Capricorn rising, which is pretty good, I think, because it always makes him really stable and solid. He's probably a tall guy. Usually Capricorn risings are tall. He's very smart, and he has Jupiter conjunct Venus, which is I just think that he's got a lot of transient energy in his chart. He's got a lot of energy where he has to be stimulated constantly. And he also has Mercury joining Neptune in Sagittarius in the 11th house, which means that he doesn't worry too much about friendships, and he collects friends as a thing. Like, he has people all over the world who are his friends. He's got Mercury, which is communication, talking, fun-loving, party guy. Neptune in Sagittarius likes to travel, enjoys other people of other cultures. He's got Sun in Sagittarius in the 12th house. So he's kind of in his skin, so to speak, while he's traveling. Like, that's his thing. He just needs to be on the go. He's got Uranus in Libra, which means that there's multiple partners. And he's got Pluto and Libra also, so it's kind of a generational thing. Like that, there's a Uranus in Libra is. Let me see. Do you have Uranus in Libra?
It's Scorpio.
No. Scorpio. Okay, well, Uranus in Libra is, again, Libra is about balance. So a Libra energy, again, it's not necessarily that they've got a person that they're really attached to, like cheating or anything, but the Libra energy, like I said before, triangulates. So there's the left side, the right side, and the fulcrum. So they always have a third person that gives them balance. It's almost like, hey, I'm going to bounce ideas off of you, or this is the person, like, I've got the person who is and the person who's not, or the person over there and the person here. It's always like that other energy. When you put Uranus in Libra, Uranus is about multiples, okay? It's multiple energy. It comes from wherever. And you put that in an air sign, you're going to get someone who probably has multiple partners at the same time.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
He's got Mars in Aries, so of course right now Uranus is on his Mars, and late degree Mars in Aries. He's very masculine in his expression, and I would also say Libra and Uranus and Libra can incline him to really be a universal lover, if you know what I mean. He doesn't necessarily differentiate. Love is love. And so that means everybody's fair game for this person. He's very charming. I mean, Venus and Jupiter in Aquarius, really charming guy. And he has Moon in Leo, which is where it is today. So he's got that really strong ability to be gregarious, outgoing. This guy, I would look at it and say he's a highly intelligent person. There's some technology associated with him. Venus, Jupiter. I would say not knowing what he does, he's a musician. And he's extremely creative, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does some kind of techno pop stuff. And if he isn't a musician, he may
he's into
techno pop.
Yeah.
He's into technology. Okay. He has Saturn in Cancer, and so he does very strongly revere having financial security. And yet at the same time, because that falls in the house of Virgo, he is somewhat bound by home and family on some level for career. So that may mean his career is kind of contingent on family in some capacity, or it also, it's a combination of things. Honestly, I know someone with the Cancer in the Virgo house, and it can mean that you do have an affinity for helping people and for nurturing and being more paternal towards people, which is a very attractive quality. And he can be reliable to those people. But socially, he definitely is a gadabout. He likes to be in the social spheres. He does have Leo in the house of marriage, so he wants to be with a partner. He does. I think he would like to be married. You have to just he's got an opposition of Moon to Venus and Jupiter. So there's something with mom. There's definitely some energy with mom where it's almost like he looks for people opposite to his mom and people who are very intellectually stimulating and social, but the person he's going to be with is someone that is probably more like mom. Like, that's the opposition. Yeah. So, let me look in your chart. Do you want me to look at him in your chart and see what that looks like?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think I've noticed that you are attracted to the Sagittarians. Isn't that kind of what usually, like, I seem to remember a couple of, you've got that kind of, which is, it's interesting because those energies are very intriguing and they keep you constantly stimulated, so they're not a dull person. He's got the Mercury-Neptune conjunction in your 12th house. So there, again, I think I talked to you about this before. The transit going through there now with, I take it back. It was the past transit of Saturn. Saturn just went into Capricorn in December. So all of last year you had Saturn in your 12th. Well, no, I take it back. You have 15-degree rising. You had Saturn on your Neptune. So you want to have that freedom. That's like a thing for you. That Neptune in Sag, he shares that same Neptune in Sag. And you do have like a nonverbal communication. So maybe I just need to change how I look at this because his Mars is right on your Venus. I think he's probably definitely attracted to you as well. Literally, his Mars is 27 and your Venus is 28. And it's at the last degree of home and family. So you do share an understanding of what it's like. I think what you share is a love of travel, too, actually. So that could actually work in your favor. I'm just looking. Yeah, you have Pluto and Libra. He has Pluto and Libra at the midheaven. So he definitely could help your career. Is this someone you're thinking about having you help you with career?
I never thought of it like that. I just literally on an app and started talking.
Oh, okay. Well, the other thing is his Saturn falls in your house of marriage and partnership. That's interesting. And his moon falls in your house of commitment. Well, for you, I mean, I would say, let me put it this way. Looking at his chart as a person, I say, man, this guy is all over the place and he wants to move and be about, and he has a lot of, like I said, he has a lot of people. But if he were ever to be with one person or have somebody that he's truly connected to, you would be someone that would be really strongly in his life. So,
wow.
yeah, his Venus and Jupiter fall into your second house of couples. So, what I would say is there's a certain eccentricity or unusual quality about the relationship. If you had one, it would be unique and it would fit you. It would be like built for what you want, so to speak. But yeah, his Mars on your Venus in the home and family, and his Saturn in your 7th house and his Moon in your 8th are all energies. I would say are, he shows that he would be someone that means more to you in a romantic sense. Let me flip that and see what you are to him romantically. Your Saturn falls in his house of commitment, and Jupiter-Mars conjunction is also in that house. So, like, you stimulate the energy of wanting to be of service to you. Like, he wants to help you. Like, I think your chart brings out his nurturing side and his need to help and be connected to you. Your Uranus is in his career house also. And so that's entrepreneurship and joint finances. And then Mercury and Sun in Pisces. Is that right? Hang on a second. Let me see if I've got. Did I call up? What the heck is that? Did I do that right? I'm sorry. Okay, that's you. I don't know why that didn't resonate to me, but no. You're the Pisces. I'm sorry, that's what it is. You're the Pisces. For some reason, I don't think of you as a Pisces because of all the Libra, Sag in your chart. Yeah, but no, your planets fall in his house of couples and coupling, which is the second house. So,
I've never heard it referred to as that way. I love that. I didn't know that about the second house.
Yeah, no, I always look there for like the physical, tangible coupling. It's like when you meet someone and you go, oh, you're my person. That's the second house. It's love.
No way.
Venus ruler. Yeah, I mean there are many places. The 7th is marriage and partnership. The 5th is romance. You look to the home and family to see how you connect as a family member. Your Chiron and your Vesta fall in his house of family. So there's definitely a connection to money and issues around money. If you were to be any more solid, it would be about money and where that's coming from and, who's in charge and all that good stuff that goes. Money is always the Achilles heel, isn't it? Anyway, so, yeah, it looks interesting. But if it gets to be more, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. His wife, unfortunately, passed away. He was married, and she passed away 6 months ago.
Oh my goodness! How horrible.
Slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
is he in America?
Like a great person. He goes between for work between New York and there.
Okay. So yeah, that makes sense because needs to travel.
Yeah. He sounds exhausted at the moment, but when I saw the Uranian stuff on his mind, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Wow, that sounds like
You're welcome. My pleasure. It was good talking to you again. Let me know.
You too, as always.
Take care. Bye, Kay. Okay, well, that's actually the end of the show. I know I haven't gotten to everybody, and my apologies. I will try and get to you next week. Please do call in. I love talking to new people, and we will see you next week. Take care. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.